Hey, what's up? It's Mike Thomas. I was away for a couple of weeks because I was ill. I'm fine now. I thought I would show up and share with you things that are working for me. You know, it takes some doing to be authentic on camera because let's face it, I'm here in my room by myself talking to a machine. But I know you're going to watch this, so I'm going to do my best. Anyhow, I'm playing around with the concept of being always at the 0 point. This means starting afresh at every moment. At every moment, starting afresh, not carrying around the burden of yesterday. We build a narrative, we build a story, and you could say that we're all a walking narrative because we walk around with this dialogue in our heads about who we are and what life is, and our beliefs pop up, and sometimes those beliefs don't work for us. They're beliefs that we picked up from our society, our parents, our peer groups. And so it's a relief, and we can just drop that, and I can think, right, okay, I'm here now in this moment. What's my excitement now in this moment? And so I'm really that has been something that has been playing on my mind right now. You know, I really enjoy, I have habits and I have beliefs that work for me. And these good habits, this lifestyle that I've built for myself, I built it over many years. This doesn't just happen overnight. Okay, there are no overnight successes. Trust your process, even if it's simple things like eating healthy, being kind to those around you. These things, simple things, you incorporate it into who you are. It becomes who you are. I reached a point where I used to enjoy the feeling of waking up in the morning, having not been drinking and smoking. My life used to be a mess. And I used to smoke until the point where I'm like, you know, I've smoked so much, it's like I can't even breathe properly. I would get to that point. But I began to enjoy the feeling of waking up in the morning without having nights like that. When you're a smoker, you forget the joy and the invigorating feeling and the vitality of not smoking. You forget what that's like. And all you know is getting the hit to stimulate the brain. So anyhow, because I've built this lifestyle for myself, my story, the story of me, the story of what physical reality is and why I'm here, it's an enjoyable thing for me to look back and see where I was this time last year, and I think, wow, you know, that's where I was last year, and this progressed, and look at what's happening now, what's going to happen in the future. And I dream about the future, and I know that what I can imagine for myself, I know that the higher mind has something even greater in store for me, and that it will surprise me along the way. So what's going to happen in the new year? I don't know. But one thing I do know is everything's going to change. Everything is going to change because change is the only constant. That thing I do know, I am certain of that. So this is the idea I'm playing around with, of being in the now. Not being in the now, but that I can start afresh at any moment and I can just drop that story. But it's not to say that I don't have a story. Okay, I still have a story of who I am and where I'm going and what I've moved through, but it's a story that works for me. So check in with yourself. What story are you telling yourself? Because what you put in is what you get back. Put a positive meaning in. So more and more lately, I begin to experience that I'm not this body. We've all heard that concept before, the idea that we're not the body's a vehicle, but it's becoming more of a real, tangible thing that I'm borrowing this body. So this brain, man, you know your brain has the ability to make you feel really good. Obviously, it's a chemical. It can release serotonin, dopamine, and you can think of that person that you really fancy, that floats your boat, and you think about that person. Feel good chemicals start to be released in your brain. So what I'm really driving at here is it's about learning to use the body sensibly. Use it sensibly. It doesn't mean that you can't ever indulge, but when you get attached to something or you're indulging in it out of boredom or you're numb and you want to feel something, so you do. When you're getting attached to these things, they just perpetuate the very thing that made you feel like you had to get attached to it in the first place. So the smoking, so you're like, you know, all it's doing is it's perpetuating the very thoughts that made you feel that you had to go for the cigarette in the first place. So the ego will make you feel that that's the thing you need to go for. So yeah, so I've just gone off on one of my tangents and lost the thread there, but just to bring it back, I can start afresh at any moment. So that was, I guess, what I really wanted to share with you in this video. You know, I'm a web developer now, and that's my livelihood, and so for this channel and my life coaching, it's a good thing for there's an opportunity now for me to really talk about things that I probably wouldn't have talked about in the past because they are considered to be fringe topics. But so much is changing that there are certain things that aren't fringe topics anymore, like UFOs and alien consciousness isn't really a fringe topic anymore. There's something called the Disclosure Project, and if you look that up, there are people from the military, Secret Service, and PhD professors who study that kind of thing. They're coming out and they're asking for disclosure from the government to disclose that they've been in contact with alien consciousness for some time. It's the biggest secret that everybody knows. So I'll probably be talking about more things. So one of them being that this whole idea that in order to be successful, you have to work hard and you have to knuckle down and you got to put the hours in and you got to struggle and strive. And, you know, society is, up until now, been... society has this idea that you ought to be struggling and suffering in order to be deserving of abundance and well-being. And I think to myself, what if I've been doing it wrong all this time? Waking up early, going without sleep, putting the hours in and going without the nap. You know, I'm too strong to take a nap. I don't need a nap. What if I've been doing it all wrong? I thought to myself. And more, I started to be listening. I'd find myself listening to Abraham Hicks and video after video after video. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna give this a try. Why not? You know, I've been doing it the other way for so long, and it doesn't really seem to be working for me. So why not try something else? So that's where I'm at right now. I've promised you a video on polyphasic sleep, which I might make after I sign off on this video. But video, you need energy. It can take a lot out of you to be this way. You know, I can have great conversations in my head. When you switch the camera on, it's a different thing. So I've been trying my best to work my ideas into a narrative, but sometimes it doesn't work. And anyway, so that was, I guess that was pretty much it for this video. And so this is therapy for me. You know, last year I got up here on camera and I pointed out my faults. I said, hey, you know what, I can be pretty vain. Sometimes I don't want to get on camera because I don't think my hair looks good. But it's great, it's therapy, you know, it's a great thing to be able to point out your perceived flaws. There's a comic, and part of his whole thing is he gets on stage, and this guy's got a big, he's got a big nose, okay? He's admitted he's got a big nose. I'm not being mean to the guy. He gets on stage and he goes, isn't it funny how when you look at pictures of yourself, and he's giving you the side profile, that from certain angles your nose looks big. And of course everyone laughs because he's pointing it out. So because he points it out, do you think that if someone in the crowd says, hey loser, you've got a big nose, you know, it's not it's not going to work because he's already called it out. This came up in a coaching session of mine, and I was talking about Eminem in the movie The 8 Mile, is it called? Long time since I've watched it. And he does that. In the battle, he points out his faults. He's like, yeah, I do live in a trailer. Yeah, my best friend did shoot himself in the leg. So the word I was looking for, he owns it. He owns his shit. Okay, I've got shit. I've got baggage. Okay? But when I talk about it on camera, it's because I've owned it, and it's good therapy to do that. And I don't just do it for that anyhow. I do it because it's good to be open, because hopefully I'm inviting you to be open and to show you that, yeah, you can relax into yourself a little bit and accept some of your perceived flaws, because like in my view, you're not flawed. Without you, all that is couldn't be all that is. It wouldn't be all that is. It would be some of what could have been without you. So you can relax into yourself. If you have habits and vices, okay, you're a human being. You have a body chemistry, you have a brain, it gets addicted to things, and yeah, maybe you've indulged in those things because they have taken the edge off of it a little bit for you and brought you some relief. But the thing about this, when it becomes an addiction and an attachment, it's fleeting. It doesn't last. And as I say, it just perpetuates the very thing that made you feel like you needed to get lost in it in the first place. So I hate, strong word, that feeling that I'm undermining myself. That feeling that I'm holding myself back. You know, it's like I'm trying to run, but I'm like holding my own head, holding myself back. I hate that feeling. So I would get angry at the cigarettes and I'd be like, fuck this, man. You know, that kind of energy. Anger is on the energy scale, it's higher than depression and hopelessness. Okay, I don't stay in that place of swearing at myself and stuff. You move through it, and then the jewel is the wisdom that you get from it, the knowledge of self, knowing who you are, being true to yourself, not deluding yourself. Like, I know when I'm deluding myself. Well, that's not entirely true. I haven't always known when I'm deluding myself, but it's bringing it into conscious awareness. And so that's the journey, bringing into consciousness who we are. Where am I? I'm in the physical dimension. What am I here to do? I'm here to be my true, authentic self to the best of my ability. And that's the best way to be of service to anyone. If you can't be of service to yourself, then you can't be of much service to others. So we've got to get our own house in order. Hope you got something from this video. I'm going to leave it there, and I'll catch you later. Peace.